So you're gay, and you got religious fanatics for parents.
We'll pray. No! We'll pray, woman. No! Pray.
I'm gonna give you some tips on how to come out of the closet in all your raging, blazing gay glory.
I'm a die boss, and boy, you better believe that.
Let me issue a disclaimer right now. I'm an atheist, so if blowing up a church offends you, you should probably click off now. I don't believe in God. I've always kind of been this way, even in spite of kind of having Catholic school forced upon me while I was growing up. I had church and God just beat into my head from an early age, and it just never made sense to me. It's something that never clicked. I always had a lot of questions. Being in Catholic school, I noticed that anytime that we did have kind of a legitimate curiosity and question, rather than have those questions explained to us, it was always, asking those types of questions was always meant with punishment. A classmate had a little bit of a crush on me. She passed a note, which was intercepted by the teacher, and once evil-ass Sister Vincent got her hands on that note, I was punished. I was yanked out into the hallway. When she questioned me about the note, I said, well, all the other boys and girls are doing it, and she said, I'm not a boy. She put her hand around my throat, and she choked me. That nun had to be told so many times to keep her goddamn hands off of me. She never listened. Like, anytime anybody's ever thrown a Bible verse at me and saying that, God said I'm not supposed to be here, God's this, God's that. When did God whisper in your ear ever and tell you to dislike gay people? I'll wait. I don't hear shit, do you? Your parents never looked at you before they cut the umbilical cord in the delivery room and said if you grew up to be a faggot, they were gonna cut you off. Their first instinct and their first concern from the womb is that you are happy and healthy and grow up to be that way. Your well-being is something that has always been the priority from day one. So to fast forward 15, 16 years later when you're discovering your sexuality and have to worry about your parents all of a sudden not wanting you is bullshit. It's your parents' responsibility that no matter what, they are supposed to protect you, guide you, and keep you safe from harm, and provide food and shelter and the necessary things until you are capable of doing these things for yourself. That is a parent's job. Come out to yourself first. Stand in front of the mirror, talk to yourself, practice saying, I'm gay, or I'm lesbian, I'm transgender. And as you are doing that, once you finally get comfortable hearing yourself admit that you're gay out loud, call yourself a dyke. Disgusting. Do this ahead of time so you can desensitize yourself to negative reactions so it doesn't fuck you up when you hear that coming from somebody that's supposed to care about you. The easier it becomes for you to brush off hateful remarks, the easier it will be for you to be comfortable opening yourself up to tell other people, I'm gay. If being at home isn't going to be a safe environment for you, it's still going to be very important for you to find advocates and allies, which you might have to resort to finding like local LGBTQ plus centers in your area. And if you're from a small town like I am, you might be kind of screwed on that. So you might have to look on a broader spectrum, but it's important for you to establish relationships with other people like us so that you're not alone. People tend to use religion as a scapegoat. Are you really going to sit here and listen to people who believe in an invisible man in the sky tell you that you're less than human? Society tends to brainwash people into thinking that gay is wrong, and it instills a fear that they put onto their children. But really the most humane thing for anyone to do would be to practice love and acceptance and try to understand what the person that they care about are going through. You living your truth and being happy and healthy is what's supposed to matter. Suicide is a very real problem for gay kids. And it doesn't come from the fact that they're gay. It comes from the fact that they're not being accepted, that they're being ostracized and rejected and tortured and picked on. And they get enough of that shit at school without having to come home and deal with it from the people that are supposed to be caring for them.
My daughter told me he came home and told her kids at school were telling him to kill himself.
If you're a parent watching this, the best thing to do would be to try to accept your child because, at the end of the day, do you want to bury them? Being gay is something that no one can control. It's not being told to hurt you. It's not being told to disrespect you or embarrass you. It's part of like their self-discovery as they're growing up, and it's already hard enough without worrying about shit that they're going to get at school, shit that they might get at work, from the rest of society. They need a safe place to go to, and home with their family is where that's supposed to always be. So if they're not getting that at home, you're increasing the likelihood of potential suicide by staggering and terrifying numbers. Don't go projecting your insecurities and your fears onto your child and give them more anxiety than they're already, not probably equipped to deal with. This can be traumatic for people coming out. Like, they're always going to be afraid of not being accepted because that's all we hear around us all day long. And then there's the case that, hey, maybe your parents won't flip out. They might have suspected that you were gay the whole time. Let's face it, some of us can't hide it. So, Madonna. So, but you won't know until you take those steps. Being prepared along the way will help you transition through this ordeal. Sometimes they might just need some time away to talk, think, process. This might come as a shock to them, like, oh, holy shit. They might not understand or know a way to really be supportive, so trying to help guide them through on what you need as well can help the situation smooth over a little bit. If you're coming from a family that wants to sit here and constantly throw Bible verses at you, I want you to remind your parents that pretty sure that whatever God they put their faith in never told them to disown their children. That's the child that God gave them. So this is your way of accepting them and embracing them for what they are. Everybody's different, so being gay is really no different than whether you like mustard or ketchup. Also, be ready to answer basic questions. Are you sure you're gay? But I thought you dated him before. How do you know you like vagina now? Just be prepared to kind of ease them through in a calm manner, because if they don't understand the lifestyle and they don't know anything about it, they might have a lot of really ridiculous questions, and it's just from genuine curiosity. They just don't know any better. I never had to go through the whole coming out thing and worrying about how my family was going to react because they already knew. But I have, however, sat with other people and, helped them break the news to their family. Sometimes whether it was in person, sometimes it's been on a FaceTime call, but either way, so they're just not alone. But I was always prepared to make sure that I had a couch for them to come stay on if shit went south. Remember that no matter what, when you come out to people, their response to your news, it reveals them, not you. This has nothing to do with you. This has to do with how they feel. If your parents, friends, family, whoever have problems accepting this, you might also have to come to terms with walking away from them. No matter what, you're the important one here because you're the one that has to live your life. Living it honestly and out in the open is going to be what's best for you. There are groups of people that will accept you for who you are. You just need to find them, and you can't find them still hiding.